Take a load off your mind with an Amana top load washer.
Hello, what up, everyone? I apologize for not being on camera, having an issue with my webcam today. But welcome back to the channel. If you own a Whirlpool top load washer, or you're thinking about buying one, or you're a technician working on one, or want to learn how to work on one, this is gonna be the video for you because I'm gonna break down real world pros and cons about purchasing or owning this machine, and also the most common repairs after the warranty period. So when that warranty goes out, uh, what you can expect, and again, manage your own expectations. And this, I'm a technician, and one thing I notice is sometimes people think things just don't break. That's just not realistic. And then when they do break, they call it junk. Like I had somebody had the machine for 15 years, had their first repair. It was like, oh, this is junk. Like what? Anyway, I'm gonna talk a little fast because I want to get this done within 10 minutes, and also you can always go back and rewind, right? So don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and the bell notification so you'll get reminders on our videos when they come up. Also, if you're an appliance technician, I have a breakdown of diagnosing machines. I have a checklist that you can have for free. The link is in the description on how to diagnose machines. So if you're new or you're a veteran, you want reminders or you want to verify and sign off on that, you can, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. So this Whirlpool washer, right? So what is it, right? Why did the Whirlpool come out with this? So they came out with it, this top loader, because it's built for value and simplicity. So if you want a low price, simple, bare bones washer, this is the one for you. And you're going to see it in homes all over the country because it's affordable and reliable, and also pretty straightforward. So when someone once it's a simple machine, that not a lot of frills and bells and whistles, this is gonna be the one for you. So let's get into the pros and cons, right? So from a consumer point of view, the pros and cons is it's easy to use, right? Plain English, no fuss technology. Great if you don't want 50 buttons, right? And no Bluetooth, none of that. It's affordable, wide availability because it's in almost most big box stores that carry Whirlpool will have this machine on their shelves. Decent capacity, 3.8 uh, cubic feet tub. If you can look inside the description of this video, and I have a breakdown of the different sizes of tubs and how much clothes you can put in them, right? For any machine. Great brand support. It's a Whirlpool product, so you got Whirlpool. Whirlpool's been around for decades. They're one of the OGs in the appliance world. They also have just a ton of product out there, and again, technicians know how to work on this because, to be honest, with you, Whirlpool made a lot of technicians because they have so much product out there, and also part availability. So technicians are most likely to work on a machine that they know they can get parts for. So since it's a U.S. based company, I think the parts do come out of Mexico and it's assembled here, but parts are available, so that makes it very serviceable. So you won't have to worry about servicing nightmares. Also, gentle on clothes, right? If you have the low profile agitator option, the high profile agitator, the one that's sticking out of the middle machine, that is a little bit more heavy duty on your clothes. It depends on the soil level of the clothes that you are washing. So let's go over the cons, right? The cons of this machine is slow wash cycles. If you're going from another newer machine to this one, it's going to take a little longer. If you're going from an old school machine to this one, it's going to be the same for you. Limited features, right? Some of the features are a bit limited because it's a bare bones machine, so you won't have the fancy technology or steam cycle or specialty cycles and stuff like that. Uh, Water efficiency is not very efficient. That could be a pro to some people, where it actually fills with water, and you won't have to worry about, it fills with water, so it's gonna be a little less efficient energy wise. Uh, Agitator models, again, the agitator, some people find that as a negative because it's more rough on clothes, but I believe in this model it's optional. You can buy one with the agitator or without. Another con is that it's a little noisy, high RPMs during the spin cycle. So let's talk about real world performance. In everyday use, this washer generally holds up well if you keep up with the basics, right? Don't abuse the machine. You can't abuse the machine and then expect it to run after the warranty. So it's going to catch up to you after the warranty period is up. So overloading is the biggest problem with with machines lasting, and also environment. If you have it out in a shed, air conditioned, that can affect the electronics. So couple of common repairs: lid switch issues. The lid switch breaks because they lock and people aren't used to that, and so they yank on it and break the lid switch. Water valve. Sometimes the water valve in these things. Sorry, that's your lid switch. Sometimes the water valve in these things will go bad, and they'll go bad because it'll drip into the tub. So that's a sign of a bad water valve. Agitator components. The agitator can sometimes break, makes noise. So that's a feature of a bad agitator. The drive belt and motor coupler components. That's what this is. Sometimes these will wear out, they'll strip, and you see they're all plastic, so that could be an issue. Shock absorber is probably number one because overloading over time it throws it off balance, and you hear a loud boom, 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 boom. That thing banging like there's no tomorrow. So that's the most common repair is getting those tub springs changed out. In a lot of cases where it's even worse, this inner tub needs to be replaced too, because there's a bushing in there that you see that we spin that tub by hand, you see that tub wobbling internally compared to the outer tub. That's usually mean the inner bushing needs to be replaced, and some people will change the inner bushing or they'll just change out the whole inner tub altogether. And then last but not least is the control board. Sometimes control board goes bad if it's stuck in the agitating cycle or stuck in trying to read the load, or there's a lot of different funny things can happen, but very common issue with this particular brand. So a couple quick maintenance tips, and then we're going to end the video there. uh, Level your washers, make sure that now if it's banging, leveling is not going to help, it's already far gone. But ahead of time, just level it out. There's feet at the bottom you can use to level your wash machine. Clean it out. White vinegar is always my cure to these things. Put white vinegar in there with hot water, or just use it every time instead of fabric softener. It will automatically clean out. It eats up all that soap and residue that's left in there. So rub time clean cycles and change your inlet hoses regularly. I think it's every 5 years or so, they say. So is this a buy or pass for me? I would give this. It's up to you. So buy it if you want a no nonsense washer, solid capacity, easy to service. Pass it if you want an advanced features, tech bells and whistles, and the best water efficiency. And also, again, you got to look. Over time, those touchscreens will go bad. So you know, that is probably the most common repair on this. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.